Good evening, everybody, and welcome to VSL F2 for the Belgian Grand Prix here at the historic Spa circuit. Otherwise, we're going to check the audio to make sure that's all working, which it is. So that is good. So we see actually cars filtering out onto the famous Spa Francorchamps circuit. There's been some doubt over whether it will be on the calendar in the future, but I think that has been resolved for at least next year, so that is very good to hear. But yeah, we get this qualifying session underway for what I believe is round 9, or round 8, sorry. And is it round 8? Might be round 9 of the championship. Yeah, it is round 9. I've made a mistake in the title, I do apologise about that. But yeah, round 9 of the championship. So one of the longer laps, I think in distance wise it is the longest lap on the entire calendar, so it'll be the longest lap that we do in VSL this season. I believe it is actually 4 metres too long to be an FIA grade 1 circuit, but they just let it slide. And also I believe the run down to turn 1 is 10 metres too short, something like that. So yeah, some interesting little facts about Spa. Yeah, we have a few cars starting right now, so Red Bull in front of that Y Racer. It is so. As actually there is a car in front of me, but we'll go with the Y Racer for the first lap that we watched in this qualifying session. And you don't want to really get it wrong, because you don't get too many runs at it with the track being so long. You only really get 3 decent attempts if you want to have fresh tyres on each of them. Yeah, coming up our Rouge and Radion, the most famous corners around this circuit. And down the Kemmel Straight, where we've had some very famous moments over the many years we've been coming here. The first section misses Apex a little bit. Seems to manoeuvre it through just about. A bit of oversteer in that Red Bull. I want to try and tune that out of the car throughout this qualifying session going into the race. But coming down towards No Name, the fast left-hander, 5th ball, 4th gear, goes down into 3rd gear and a little bit deep. There's some more oversteer on the exit, but coming down into Puon. Misses Apex again, so not the best lap from Y Racer to be given this qualifying session. So I want to definitely improve on this lap after he does that. Can he hit his Apex here? Yeah, he can. So just getting a handle. We have a weak brake, so some of these drivers maybe just, getting that rust off and then getting back into things. I've heard from middle sector saying, as I think the cars that were ahead have backed off. That is McLaren there. Who is that? Is that McLaren? Yeah, that is McLaren. The special delivery McLaren that we have in the game now for a few weeks, I'd imagine. And now coming into the bus stop, the final heavy braking zone. One of the heaviest on the track. Ooh, turns in a little bit too early for the final corner. That's going to be a compromised run a little bit. And it's going to be a 45.3 first up on board for Y Racer. Mike behind him just picks him by less than half a tenth with a 45.2, and then Ryan slaps them both by 4+ tenths with a 44.8. Who's next to finish the lap? Tony, and into the bus stop will be our next driver to start or to finish his lap even. And it's going to be a 44.5. He goes P1, just under 3 tenths faster than Ryan in the Alpine, and Acorn, Ryan's teammate, just about picks into the front row of the grid. Now for May, just about to cross the line, is that Raab? It is, with a 46.6, so a little bit off the pace there from Raab. He's going to want to look to definitely improve that lap. We have Newgard in the other Red Bull, is aborted his lap and is going to decide to peel off into the pit lane. Quite a funny pit lane here, because it cuts quite a lot of turn 1, so it's not the longest pit lane in the world, so 2-stop is a little bit viable, because it is quite easy to overtake around here with the long straight down the Kemmel Straight and before Rouge, and coming down to the bus stop towards the end of the lap, although that straight doesn't have DRS. Only the 2 DRS zones here. down the start finish straight and the Kemmel straight after Uru from Radion. But Davo in the Mercedes gets himself up into P2, and I believe that is his position in the standings as well. I'll get the standings up now so we can have a look through. So in the standings, it is indeed Gareth in P1 as it has been pretty much all season. He's on an outlap right now on 173 points. He has a 49-point lead to Davo behind, who is on 124, and Ryan, the man in fourth at the minute, is in third on 106, and then only 1 point behind him is the leading of the two Red Bulls, Y-Race, on 105. And then rounding out the top 5 in the championship is Kev Ruski on 85 points, who is still in the pits, and as you can see, that mechanic about to send him out, sticks his arm out and away he goes. So Kev Ruski definitely in a battle for at least top 4. I don't think Gareth will really be caught anymore. He has really put together an incredible season. He did win 3 or 4 races in a row earlier on in the season, and yeah, he has been a class above the rest so far, and let's see if he can reciprocate that in this hot lap. He is just starting now, coming down into La Source turn 1. Gets his apex very nicely. Second gear, short shift up to third, to fourth through fifth, and now down the long run, flat out for about 20 seconds between now and the end of the first sector. As we open the ice now, a little kink in the straight. Drivers will not have to worry about that. Easy flat. Look at the confidence that he's driving with right now. Not using too much of the curves early on in this session. Maybe towards the end he will get a bit more aggressive. He does need to find the time. Sitting nice and close to the apex. Through no name. Look at that, it gets on the curve so much. You can just visibly see the speed compared to that Y-Race lap we watched. As Acid Masters, who I believe is a new driver in the Aston Martin, has gone P1 with a 44.3 by 2.5 tenths over Tony in P2 in the McLaren. But will he be able to hold on, or can Gareth, as it has been so often this season, go to the top of the timesheets? Coming out of sector 2, it is purple on the minimap. Is it actually purple? Who knows? But only one more braking zone to go into the bus stop. Coming through down towards Blanchemont, not really a proper corner in these cars now. Look at that, easy flat, no lift at all. Now stamp on the brakes just for the 100 metre board, clip that curve and then flick it to the left. It looks very good from Gareth. You've got to think this is going to put him to the top. What's going to be? 44.302 beats Acid Master by 2 thousandths. Wow, that's so close. That is incredible. And those two seem to be a bit in front of everyone else at the minute, more than a quarter of a second ahead of Tony in P3 and everyone else behind. Some people haven't set a lap there yet. Newgarden on an outlap. Kev Ruski, man P5 in the standings, just starting his lap in his Scuderia Ferrari. Let's see what he can do. Coming out of the first sector, seems to be carrying quite decent speed, using more of the curve than we've seen from other people so far. So can Kevros get himself up towards the front and pit Gareth? Decides to 5th gear through no name and runs a little bit wide on the exit and gets invalid. That is how close you always are to the limit around here, and also around every other track. That is a very, very minor mistake from the Ferrari man, and that sees his lap get abolished. Now Newgarden, the other Red Bull, on a lap now, his first lap of the session. I mean, it's taken him the better part of 11 minutes to start a lap, so that just proves that Spa is a difficult circuit in time management. You don't really get too many opportunities through to using a lot of entry curve and not really getting the apex that I imagine he would have wanted, but carrying some decent speed through the exit and all over the curbs here through the chicane. Coming towards the end of the second sector now. Doesn't quite use that curve on the inside, which I know you can do. It's a 16.5. I think that's I've had like a second down. Oh, and he's lost it. He's lost it, and his tyre, his front right corner, has been absolutely destroyed and nearly gets hit on the way past by. I'm not sure if that was Tony or Risky, but that is not good for Newgarden, who will be starting at the back of the grid if Kev Rusky can improve. So, not the best start for Red Bull here. They are in 9th and 14th as it stands, and don't seem to be putting up too much of a fight considering where they are in the championship. Let's have a look at the constructors actually, while we are mentioning Red Bull. So in the constructors, this is actually Williams on 193 points, currently leading the way, and Red Bull 176, only beating Alpine by 1 point. So there are definitely battles going on in the constructors, and Red Bull really not doing themselves any favour with this qualifying session. So they have got some work to do on the 22 lap race we'll have after this quali session. Alpine of Acorn and Ryan will be looking to capitalise right now as Gareth, leads the charge for Williams to maybe a double championship of drivers and a constructors, and see what he can do for the rest of the season. So it's Kev Rusky now, who is retrying his lap. I don't believe he picked for fresh tyres, so these are a little bit worn. He's managed to reach this point in the lap without invalidating, but I think this is quite a slow lap time. This might be an in-lap actually. I don't see the point of him setting this up. I think he's about 2 or 3 seconds down on Gareth as it stands. So let's see if the Ferrari man does peel off into the pits. Yeah, you can see not taking launch mode flat, so that proves not on a hot lap. I expect to see the Ferrari peel off to the right into the pit lane. There we go. He does pit. PC Gaming 23 also pits. Rob, is he on a lap? No, his battery's absolutely toasted, so he's not on a lap. Mike in the AlphaTauri is on a lap, I believe. Misses his apex a little bit, runs a little bit wide. If I can invalidate him, no, he gets away with it. Purple is 2 tenths up according to the game. So let's see what happens there. Coming down towards the final few corners. Through Bonchmont, no dramas. Down to the bus stop, can he nail his brake zone in his apex? Hits on the brakes, nice and early too. Oh, pits doesn't decide to set the lap, so a lot of drivers decided to. Oh wow, Risky is driving a bit risky there. You can see that's an outlap, and that is no grip in the tyres. I don't know if they were a bit cold, but that was very nearly a big moment for that McLaren, and could have been sending himself off into the gravel trap, but manages to keep it all composed. And Tony McLaren goes up to P1, and look at that, the top 3 separated by 300s pretty much. Incredibly close. And we also have Dave who improved his lap, so the top 4 separated by half a tenth. Incredible going into the final 4 minutes of this quali session. And it'll be very interesting to see who can come out on top going into the final runs. Who is on a lap? I don't think anybody's in the lap. I think everyone is pitting, getting ready for the final runs. Kevrowski on an outlap. He's got some fresh rubber and is ready to go again. Taking it very slow on the outlap. He's turned his battery off if he wants to have fully RS for his lap, which I think he has done now. No, he hasn't. His battery's burning. There we go. I think he's seen him make a little change in his steering wheel. So I think that is him turning off his battery. Now, I don't know if the McLarens are actually going to get another attempt at this. They do need to get into the pits pretty rapid. I don't think they are. So unless they charge their batteries and go again on these older tyres, they are done for the session. I mean, Tony's in P1 and is Risky on a lap. Risky's 800s down. So look at that. That car has no grip. His Risky spins. He nearly done that last lap and now he has done it. So Risky's qualifying session pretty much over, I'm pretty sure. But Tony, is he going to set himself up for another lap or is he going to pit? He pits, so that is Tony's qualifying session over. So he's the man to beat. As we see Gareth leave the pit box. I don't know, it was Gareth. Might not have been actually. It was 2 Alpines and a Red Bull. So Acorn, Ryan and Y-Race leaving the pits. Kev is getting ready to go for his lap. Has burnt a little bit of ERS, so hopefully we'll have enough to complete the lap with enough battery. So here he goes, the man P5 in the championship hasn't yet been able to get a proper lap on the board. He does have a bit of traffic to contend with coming out of the pits, but I think that was Gareth getting out of the way quite nicely. Now he has a Mercedes of Davo and an Aston Martin of Acid Master, so second and third on the grid. Actually, that's third and fourth on the grid at the minute in the way. He's going to get a nice little slipstream here if Davo gets out. Oh no! Oh wow! That is drama. That is drama. That is so unfortunate for Kev, who went to go around Davo because it looked like he was going to stick to the racing line, and Davo moved, trying to get out of the way at the last minute. I think there was just a little bit of a miscommunication there between the Mercedes and the Ferrari, and that has led to both of them retiring and not going to have another shot at this qualifying. So that is good news if you're Tony, Gareth and Aston Master, because if one of your pole position contenders is out, and disastrous if you're Kev, because you are starting at the back of the grid. Oh, that is so unfortunate. You've got to imagine that will be heading to the stewards after the race. But an unfortunate incident there for those two. I think just a little bit of miscommunication, and it has a big effect on on the outcome of this qualifying session. But anyway, let's focus on who is on a lap right now. Y-Racer warming up. Acorn about to start his. Same with Ryan. So we'll have a look at. Who do we want to have a look at? We had a lap with we've gone with Acorn. Let's see what Acorn can do in the Alpine. He has just over 6/10 to find. But yeah, I think that instance between Davo and Kev will be getting looked at after. That is unfortunate for those two. But anyway, Acorn in the Alpine, going up our Rouge and Radion, opens DRS, heading down the straight, going to reach about 215 miles an hour, you'd imagine. Maybe even a little bit more. The Alpine looking very slippery in a straight line. He's nearly 2/10 up just in the first section alone. He only needs to find 6/10 to get pole. So let's see what he can do. As Checkers bike is out. Risky not getting another lap. Rob, PC Gaming and Tony all finished. So they will not improve their positions anymore. There's an AlphaTauri in front that is going slowly. Is that Mike? Let's hope he gets out of the way. He's just going through 2 on now. Yellow flags. Not the best. 2 on by Acorn. He has to lift off and go down to 6. So here we go. Coming towards the end of the second sector. It's not been the best lap. Has to contend with a little bit of traffic and then loses the car and loses his wheel. There's so many crashes going on right now. As his teammate Ryan goes past the carcass of his teammate's car. Here's Ryan up on his shot. He's 3/10 up, so this could find him propelled up into the top 6, maybe in the top 5 if he can have a good last sector. But that is not the best. A lot of drivers struggling with this 12-hole top circuit and being caught out by these gravel traps and walls. But here comes Ryan down to the final braking zone at the bus stop. Second gear, gets it nice turned in for the right, flips it to the left. Pretty good. What's it going to be? It's going to be a low 44. He's a 44.1. Ryan gets a P1, so he's done so much time in that last sector and propels himself up to P1, just nearly 10th and a half ahead of Tony. What can Gareth, Acid Master and Y-Racer do about it? Gareth is actually not going to be the first. It's going to be Acid Master who's invalidated his lap. So Acid Master's not going to improve. He is 4th at best. And Y-Racer bumping down to P5. Who knows? But here comes Gareth out of the final corner. What's it going to be for our championship leader? 44.270. Beats Tony by 3,000, but not enough to get Ryan off of pole. So it's going to be Ryan in the Alpine in P1 for Spa. And this is maybe one of the tracks where pole isn't actually that important because it's such a long run down the Kemmel Straight. So being on pole probably isn't actually the place you want to be. So it could still be playing into the favour of the man who's had apparently all the luck this season, although a lot of it has come down to just being superb behind the wheel. Garrett could be in a prime position to slipstream down the Kemmel Straight and get into P1, but also Tony and Aston Master will be looking to take advantage of that slipstream. So it is Ryan on pole from Gareth in P2. And then Tony starting on the second row with Acid Master and Davo in P5. Those lot separated by less than 2/10 the top 5 around the circuit. It's 1 minute 44 in length. That is incredibly close. And it's Y Racer, Risky, Acorn, Mike, and George rounding out the top 10. And then the other two with lap times was Rob and Peter again, and N89 Newgarden and Kev Rusty not able to get a lap on the board. And they will all be starting towards the rear. So we will have our it's not annual, weekly 2-minute break before we ready up for the race if everyone does follow the rules. So yeah, I'm going to go and quickly grab myself a drink. No rain, it looks dry, very dry, nice and sunny here in the Ardennes Forest. So I will go and quickly grab a drink and then we will be ready for the Belgium GP. So back in a minute. I am back and we are nearly ready to go for the Belgian GP. Interested to see what strategy these drivers do. I imagine most will do a medium hard or hard medium, just depending on which way round they want to do it. But we could see maybe a soft runner. It is the fewest laps we will do all season, only 22, whereas we had Monaco 2 races ago, which is how many laps? I believe it's 39 laps, so nearly half the laps of Monaco. So it's not the longest race here at Spa. So maybe that will sway a few of our drivers towards a more aggressive strategy. But who knows? We have to wait and see what these drivers will decide to do. As I imagine you'll have them readying up in a matter of seconds. But can Acorn convert his pole position to, I believe, would be his first race win of the season? I don't think he's won so far. So let's see if he can do that, or will Gareth be able to continue his reign of domination and extend his championship lead even further? And what can Davo do about that championship lead? Nearly at 50 points. If he wants to win this title, he does need to start getting that cut down soon, pretty quickly. He doesn't have much time to overcome such a large points haul. So 10 seconds until we get ready to go on the formation lap. And we can have a look at what tyres people are going to start on for the Belgian GP. So we pull away, let's get the tyre graphics up. Which one is it? It's that one. So we have a mix of all 3 compounds. So the top 3, Ryan, Gareth and Tony, all going for the yellow ruled mediums, with Tony rocking the special McLaren livery, looking very dapper. And then it's Acid Master in P4, who I believe is making his debut. I don't remember him racing at all this season. In the Aston Martin instead of Liar Blade. I don't know where he is today, but he hasn't had the best of luck, I guess I should say, this season. But he is starting on the softer compound, so the Red Bull softs. So he'll have to pit earlier, but he'll have more pace. With a Kimi Raikkonen there, everyone weaving on the straight, and he's just going bang in a straight line. So he'll be looking to capitalise at the start and maybe get himself up in front of the three ahead. And then it's the man P2 in the standings, David, with his Alonso-inspired helmet in the Mercedes, and P5 on the mediums, and the man behind him, Wyros, are also on the mediums. And then we get Risky, who is on the soft compound. Acorn, oh sorry, it wasn't Acorn on pole, it was Ryan on pole. I don't know why I was on that Acorn, apologies to Ryan. Acorn on the mediums in P8, Mike P9 on the softs, and then George, Rob, PC Gaming, N89 and Newgarden all on the mediums too. And then we have a different strategy at the back for Kev Risky, who had that unfortunate incident with David in qualifying. He is choosing the hard compound, the white walled hard compound, so he'll be looking to go long into this race, hoping for a late race safety car maybe. Definitely doesn't want an early race one, because that will probably ruin his strategy completely. Yeah, you can really tell the length of the of the Spa circuit when they're on the formation lap, because it takes forever to complete. It's probably about 3.5 minute lap when they're not going at top speed. So let's hope for reduced safety cars so that we can have some fast-paced action. But right now, come towards the bus stop chicane. We'll be looking to bunch the grid up a little bit. You can see going very slow on the minimap. The grid is pretty bunched, so you won't be waiting on the grid too long. And some nice hot tyres for the start of this race. A short run down to La Source turn 1, so not too much time to lose if you do have a poor start, not too much time to gain if you do have a good one. It's all about that exit of turn 1 and the run down the Kemmel Straight and up Eau Rouge and Radion. That is what matters here on the opening lap. We can see drivers potentially all the way down to 4th could get into the lead with a good slipstream, but Ryan parks into position and Gareth alongside him, and as the final few cars line up on the grid, David Morris getting DSQ'd, they're not lining up properly, same with N89 and the other Ferrari. But here we go then, the lights are going to come on. It's 3, 4, it's 5 red lights here in Spa, and it's lights out and away we go. And who's got the better of the two starts? It's actually going to be Acid Master, who's got a really good start around the outside of them all. He's going to look for the lead into turn 1. Can Acid Master go all the way around the outside? No, he can't. He can settle to P2, but you can get the slipstream down the Kemmel Straight and towards turn 4. As there's some incidents going on behind, I believe. That looked like a McLaren heading towards the wall. I don't know if that was risky, maybe hitting the wall in the background down to Eau Rouge. But here comes the slipstream. Does Acid Master have the straight line speed? It doesn't appear that he does. Ryan has really good straight line speed. He's pulling the gap, and it's Acorn and Gareth actually behind. Gareth has had a really poor start, down from second place on the grid, all the way down to P5, and he gets tapped in the rear by David, who spins, and that nearly causes Gareth to spin. But now Gareth's got a Red Bull down his inside. Is he going to lose even more positions? They're 3 wide. That is not what you want to see. Is Pirates going to get the move done on Gareth? This has been an atrocious start for our championship leader. Started on the front row, but finds himself all the way down in P6 already, and we're not even halfway through the first lap. And it's risky behind him. The top car is looking to capitalise on this poor start for the Williams. What can he do? Gareth doesn't seem to have much grip right now. I don't know if he didn't really warm his tyres up properly or what, but he is struggling in that Williams. Doesn't seem to have the grip at all, and look at that, risky. I know he's on the softs, but he's having to lift through these corners so he doesn't hit the back of him like Davo did, and Davo I think did half spin from that contact with Gareth and has found himself dropped down all the way to 11th. Risky nearly loses it, and I think the other car loses it. It's George who spins and luckily goes, otherwise he would have been having a massive collision with Kev Risky. He's had a good start on the hards. He started with, I think, now for 12th. Davo gets himself back to 11, goes side by side. True Blanchimont pushes Rob off a little bit and gets the move done. Mike picking up a penalty already on the first lap. That's not what you want to see. Is someone getting a penalty in the first lap? Ryan's actually past his lap. He has a half a second lead over Acid Master. But Ryan did seem to have very good straight line speed on the opening lap. So it maybe could be a challenge for Acid Master to get past. It's only 7.5 tenths behind. He'll be looking to stick within that magic 1 second window. But Gareth not really having the start he would have wanted. And he is dropping from Y Racer. He is outside of a second already. So maybe we might see for the first time pretty much this whole season, Gareth doesn't have the pace, and Mike, the AlphaTauri on the softs, has spun at the top of Eau Rouge and somehow doesn't have damage. That is very lucky. He might have minor damage, but no major damage to the AlphaTauri. But Gareth not having the pace right now. And let's focus on the drivers in front in this Y racer, looking for a move on Acorn and running a little bit wide. So I don't know if he missed his brake point. I actually did try to go all the way around the outside, but that did not work either way for Y racer. So he's just going to have to settle down and maybe wait for the DRS, although it is kind of a DRS train evolving there. Davo gets past Rob. Well, actually, he's battling Rob. He got past him last lap, but Rob does have some fight in him. What can he do about the Mercedes in front and Kev Rusky behind on the hards? We'll just want to keep his nose clean and stick with these lot in front until he can capitalise on having the better tyre life. As Rob is actually low on ERS already, so he's actually chugged through his ERS. As Risky gets a penalty behind Gareth as he goes for a move down the inside, gets the move done to the bus stop. Can Gareth switch back in? I don't think he's going to be able to, and now it's Gareth all the way down to 7th, so he's got 5 positions in 2 laps. As Ryan sets another fast stop, and that is DRS enabled for the first time. Let's see what sort of straight line speed these boys have. Now, on board with Acid Master, who will be looking to make a move. As Ryan runs a little bit wide through Eau Rouge, he doesn't quite hit his apex. That might compromise his run just a little bit. You can see the Aston Martin burning. He will have DRS wide open. He's gaining, but he's not gaining enough. I don't think he's going to be able to go for a move. As Y Racer is now making a move on Acorn. So that is Acorn in 5th now. Risky 1.2 seconds behind. Did keep Gareth behind us, so that is good. Rav and Kev battling. So Rav has lost 2.5 seconds to Davo. So Davo scampering off to the distance. Rav covering with the ERS, and Kev Risky will be looking to make a move sooner rather than later on the Aston Martin, the Alfa Romeo, sorry. So this little train of 3 of Y Racer, Acorn, Risky. Right, Gareth is just outside of the DRS actually. So this little train of 3 is probably the people to be watching right now. Is actually how the AlphaTauri teammates battling, as PC Gamer is ghosted. I don't know if he's, I think yeah, he's AI, so I'm not sure what has happened to PC Gaming. Oh no, Acid Master's crashed! Oof! That is a huge crash. Surely that's a safety car. That is a massive crash between Acid Master and the McLaren. So I am not sure what's happened there. Look at that, that is a huge crash. Wow. I'm going to imagine Acid Master has lost the rear, and then Tony has had nowhere to go and has piled into the Aston Martin. That is a lot of debris on the track, and no surprise there is a safety car for that. Wow. So Risky decides to take the opportunity to pit, but what a huge collision that is. So yeah, no surprise the full safety car has been deployed, and actually it was quite a good time for the field to be picked up. Risky going onto the hards, maybe try and go to the end. 18 laps on a set of hards. I don't know if it is possible, but I'm sure we will find out. Y Racer has got a penalty. I'm not sure if that is that a 3 second or a 5 second. That is a 3 second penalty. So yeah, some track extensions as half the grid has already pit. So this is a definitely a decisive moment in the race, as Risky actually pit and came out in P5, so Risky is in a very good position if he can go to the end. So we will see if he can. He just needs to catch up to the grid now. Kev Risky, who did start on hards, pits for mediums, which I'm almost certain will not be able to get to the end, but let's find out. Maybe a medium soft for him now to get himself to the end. But Ryan managing to hold the lead quite well, and now he has Y Racer behind him after the people in 2nd and 3rd have crashed. I'm not sure what happened, but they are no longer in this race, and now it is Y Racer who finds himself in 2nd. Gareth finds himself in 4th, and Acorn is on the final podium position in 3rd place. Risky on fresh hard in P5. PC Gaming in AI is 6th with George, the last of the non-pitters, in P7. I believe we'll have one more lap on the safety car after this one, so there is opportunity if these top 7 apart from Risky want to pit and commit to that hard tyre to the end. They all can, because none of them did start on hard, so it is an option if they want, but whether they decide to take the hit of being a little bit slower right now. But we'll see, we'll see. What safety car do we have today? We have the Aston Martin there being driven by Bert Mylander. Just coming down towards Bonchmont. But Acorn, he did very well to defend from Acid Master while he was under the pressure. Especially on that opening lap, he seems to have a lot of straight line speed, so maybe Ryan is the guy to beat because he, I don't know, it doesn't seem like anyone's going to be overtaking him on track because that straight line speed was incredibly fast. Nobody decided to pit, so they all stay out. They're all committed to the strategy they are currently on. So that is the cards they have been dealt. As actually Kev Risky, I thought it looked like he was pitting because he dropped off the back, but maybe he was just still catching up. So we should be ready to go racing after this lap. And yeah, a bit of a split grid. Who else fastest lap at the minute? It is Ryan with a 48.8. Nobody else is even in the 48s apart from Acid Master, who has now crashed. So Ryan currently with the fastest lap. He'll be looking to keep that and maybe try and get it back if he does lose it after his pit stop. So 3 people with penalties. Y-Racer, Risky and Mike will have penalties. So that is something else to look out for come the end of this race. Penalties can always decide races. They're all bunching up quite a lot here, so hopefully they can maybe spread themselves out a little bit so to not risk any contact with one another. That's not what we want to see. We want to see them all be able to battle out on track with fully working cars. Now it'll be interesting to see how everyone behind PC gaming gets affected, because obviously AI, they can sometimes act a little bit funny on the safety car restart, so let's hope that his AI sticks nice and close and he doesn't hold up the people behind too much, which hopefully he shouldn't. But those lights on the top of the safety car should go off any moment now, and we should be ready to go. There we go, the safety car zooms off into the distance, disappearing right in front of us. And now it is down to Ryan to control the pace and keep that temperature in his tyres. Look at the gaggle of cars behind him. Ooh, going to be wanting to snap at the heels of our race leader Ryan in that Alpine, doing a great job here to help Alpine overtake Ferrari in the constructors. So he heads down towards the final chicane. It is his choice when he goes. Will he decide to go early or will he decide to go late? We've seen a mixture of both all seasons. We have a bit of like a kerfuffle going on behind. That is not what you want to see, especially with the AI. So has Ryan decided to go? It's not gone yet. Still not gone. No, it's to put his foot down. Now he goes out the final corner. So he has a 4/10 lead over Y-Racer, who does have a penalty. And is it? Yeah, a little bit of time loss for the guys behind, but nothing too drastic. It's definitely, they are going to be able to overcome that. So it's Newgarden and Rob side by side down to turn 1. Rob runs a little bit wide, gets stuck on the sausage curb, and that might allow Mike to get a run, and nose a little bit too far back, so he's going to have to hold position for now. As there's yellows, Y-Racer's crashed. Y-Racer's crashed at the top of a roof. PC Gaming is getting overtaken left, right and centre, but that is Y-Racer in the Red Bull, out of the session already. So that's 3 DNFs, one at the top of a Rouge and the other 2 down towards Bonchmont. Oh, nice. Gareth nearly losing the back end of that Williams. No safety car, so we carry on green. N89 picks up a penalty. So Risky, who has pitted up into P4 and is only about 3 seconds off the lead or something around about that. So he is looking in a very good position for this race at the minute. But can he hold on to the back of Gareth, who hasn't seemed to have the pace so far this race? They've both run a little bit wide. That could be a warning for both. They are very strict through Puon. on this game. Risky having a little bit of a moment there, having to correct the car. That might cost him only about half a tenth, but if those mistakes are consistent, then that can cost you quite a lot of time throughout a lap and even more throughout a race. If he gets a good run here, he could be looking maybe to overtake him. But the final game, Davo picks up a penalty in the Mercedes. He hasn't had the best race so far. He had that incident in quali and then did have that contact with Gareth at the start of the race. But as works his way back up to P7, he is third of the pitted cars. Risky looks to the inside, but that was merely just to let Gareth know that he was there. He was never going to go for that. But it's Ryan who has built up over 2-second lead over his teammate Acorn. So Alpine 1-2 at the minute, doing great work to their constructors' hopes and both of their drivers' championships as well. But Risky is 4.5 tenths behind, 5 tenths. No DRS as George has had a little spin in the half, so that's going to really affect him all the way down here. Kev Risky going to go for the move. Ooh, George blocks him off. I think he'll just get away with that. And George loses the car again. That's going to go towards the wall. And that is his rear tyre off, and that is another retirement. Oh, that is 2 in 2 laps. We are down to 11. George touching in the same way Y-Racer did and losing his rear left. So that is us down to 10 actual drivers because PC Gaming is in AI. So no safety car again. We carry on going green. And Risky in P4 looking to overtake his speed teammate Gareth. So it seems to be right now that this is a race of attrition. And just getting to the end, we'll see you getting some decent points as Davo's up to P5. And 3.7 seconds behind this top 4, who are all quite close together, but not quite in DRS of each other, except for Risky in DRS of Gareth. He seems to have quite a lot of pace, and Gareth is still struggling. Risky runs a little bit wide. You don't want to get too much over that curve because the car can bottom out and it can continue. I imagine that is what happened to Aftermath. And we did see it happen in qualifying, so I believe Y-Racer. As we have yellows in set 3, that is Rob out now as well. Rob has done exactly what I just said can happen. I imagine he's bottomed out on the curve, and that is another safety car. So we have our second safety car of the race. And that's going to be this top 3 all peeling off into the pit lane. Where are they going to come out? I reckon it'll be towards the rear of the field. They're going to have to go on hards. And softs will not make it to the end from here, and they can't go on mediums because you have to use 2 different compounds. So, Ryan coming out in P7, they have all been filtered right to the back. But the back here is only 7th place, so they're really not too far behind. So we might actually only have a 1-lap safety car if they can all catch up relatively quickly. PC Gaming is last, and he's just exiting the pits now, and the safety car is not even, has just exited sector 1, so we may very well get racing on the next lap, which we hope to see because we want to see as many racing laps as possible. But this has played out quite nicely for Davo, who is second in the championship. Did find himself down in about 12th place come the end of the first lap, and is now up in second. He does have a penalty, but the cars behind, well, NA9 has a penalty and Mike, and the people that will be fast, Ryan, Gareth, Acorn, they do have to work their way through 3 or 4 cars before they are behind him. So he does have time to find that 3 seconds to negate that penalty. If he can work his way through the field quite effectively. But PC Gaming is going to catch up to the back right about now, so hopefully we get racing. As they can see the field in front, he's going to pull up behind. So there we are all caught up. But I don't know if the safety car will actually come in this lap or whether it will do an extra lap. Let's see. So Ryan had to go at the safety car restart. Now it's going to be Risky's turn if it does come in, which it doesn't look like it's going to. So we might have another lap of this. This does help the likes of Risky though, because the more laps we have on the safety car, the less tyre wear they're going to have. Especially Kev on the mediums, he's really going to nurse those tyres to the end, so he's going to want as many laps behind the safety car as possible. So we go around one more time. Will anybody decide to pit? It looked like Risky was going to head towards the pits there, but he doesn't. Everyone's staying out. Everyone just keep working the tyres, get the heat in the tyres. We did see Garrett struggle on the restart. He was a bit all over the place and yeah, didn't seem to have the ultimate pace. So let's see if he can do better on this one when we get going again. He'll be definitely hoping he can, because he does need to gain a few positions to stop Davo gaining some decent points in the championship. So yeah, let's see what happens. I'm not sure where PC Gaming did go. I didn't see him leave the lobby. I probably did just miss it. But yeah. I don't know if he can join back or what, but doesn't look like he's going to, as Risky gets a little bit risky with the safety car there. Going up the inside a little bit, but doesn't hit it, so we are all good. Gotta imagine it'll be coming in this lap. So the lights go off, it disappears once again. Hopefully that is the last time we see it this race. And Risky gets to work on those tyres with David behind, and then 89, who we haven't really spoke about much this race. He's kind of just been anonymous really, but you know, sometimes that is probably a good thing. You know, if you aren't getting talked about, you're probably doing something right because you aren't doing anything wrong. So that seems to be what's been happening for N89 today. He just finds himself up into a podium position nearly halfway into this race, so let's see what he can do for the final 13 or so laps. But it's going to be Risky who controls the safety car restart. He seems to be taking a similar approach to what Ryan did. Is he going to go on the exit at the final corner? No, he seems to wait a little bit longer. That's causing a bit of a slack, but now he goes, and there's a bit of a kerfuffle going on behind with Kev Risky, Newgarden and Ryan and all of this, and that's going to be Ryan down the inside of Newgarden, looking to make some early moves through turn one. Is he going to get the move done? Side by side, Ryan's going to get better exit, and he does. That is him up his P5 already. So he has left Acorn and Gareth in his dust. As we see someone else spin it, it's Mike, the upper Alpha Tauri, spins through our roofs, and we are down to 8. And really not many people left in this race. So really just keep your car on track. That is all you need to do, and that is Ryan up to P4. Only 3 cars between him and the winner. They all have penalties. So everything is going right for Ryan right now. He had the pace in quali, and he seems to have the pace in the race. As we see Gareth in last out of everyone that's still running. That is not something I expect to say at all this season. But he still has time to rectify this situation. Acorn as well has dropped off a little bit to this pack in front. So maybe these two just struggling a little bit with the fresh hard warm-up, unlike Ryan, who seems to be flourishing in any conditions around this Spa circuit. Kev on the mediums as that is someone spun. Oh, what? That is a commentator's curse if I've ever seen one. I said Ryan was flourishing, and then there he is, sideways. Oh, so that, all that great work he's done for the first 10 after this race, all gone, and now he is last. He's got a lot more work to do to work his way back up through the field. That is so unfortunate for the Alpine. 1.3 seconds behind. It's not over yet. He just needs to maybe compose himself And yeah, Davo pits. Does he have damage? The man second in the championship pits. Let's quickly see if the Mercedes mechanics. Yeah, you can see there the front left end plate is gone. He's going to have a wing change. I'm not too sure where that contact was. Maybe it was with Mike. I'm not too sure. But this promotes N89 up into P2 and Newgarden into P3. Kev on those mediums, if people look at Acorn now, coming with that straight line speed. That Alpine has really good straight line speed. Both Acorn and Ryan. Acorn had to lift there through a rouge, so he didn't go into the back of it. But let's see what can he do. He's not burning ERS. Like, this is purely straight line speed. Is he going to go late on the brakes? No. He's going to settle in behind. As Ryan is now onto the back of Gareth. He was 1.3 seconds behind, and now he's right on the back of him. So Ryan's pace is undeniable. It's faster than pretty much everyone else, I'm sure, by quite a large margin. It's just whether he can make these moves or not. But Kev will be looking to get himself up to a podium position. I think at this point it is overtake or be overtaken. Risky gets another penalty. I think that's him up to 6 seconds now. So he needs to maybe try and calm down. We're only halfway into this race. You don't want to be picking up 12 seconds worth of penalties, because that will drop you pretty much certainly at least 3-4 positions. Now Kev all over the back of Newgarden. Newgarden not seem to have so much pace and getting a bad run there down towards Lonchemont, side by side. This could get a little bit close. There's a squeeze to the grass. Side by side, they managed to hold it, but Kev has to back out of the move. Not able to hold it all the way around the outside, and that is going to be Newgarden holding on to the position, but he got a little bit deep. Could compromise his run onto the start finish straight. Kev uses all the track, but kind of gets stuck on the curve a little bit and runs out of momentum. And that kind of ruins his run, but he seems to have so much more pace than Newgarden. And I don't think he has DRS yet. He might do. I think, yeah, DRS is enabled. So he will get it on Newgarden, but how is his straight line speed? Is it enough to get a move done? As in fact, I think this is a guaranteed move. Ryan on Gareth. Might go down to P7. Ryan starting to make his way back through the field up into P6. Now behind his Alpine counterpart, Acorn. And through this middle sector, the pace of Risky does seem pretty decent out front. He's 2.5 seconds ahead of N89, so those penalties won't matter if he can pull a big gap, which he appears to be trying to do right now. But Newgarden in P3 is the man who seems to be the bottleneck, the cork in the bottle. You can see him running wide there, getting a bad run. Kev could have a look here. This isn't really a conventional overtaking spot, but is he going to get the move done? I think he is. That is a great move there by Kev. Down the inside and then getting the run on the exit. So now it's down to Acorn, who actually runs deep. That could open the door for Ryan. It's a long straight. So can Ryan get the move done? I think he's going to. And will team orders come into play? Will Acorn back out of it and let his teammate go? I don't think he really had a choice, to be honest. As N89 picks up penalties, the two out front are clearly using all the track and more, but that is Ryan up to P5, nearly where he was when he spun, so only up from here I think for Ryan as he sets the fastest up of the race with a 48.6, so showing that he does have the pace, he just needs to not make any more mistakes, and this should still be a very good chance at a race win for him. For once Gareth is getting outclassed as Davo finds himself overtaking PT Gaming. He's 18 seconds behind everyone, but he is doing fastest laps, but I think it might be a bit too much to overcome that 18 second gap. But here comes Newgarden finally going to actually come back from Kev Rusky. So Kev made a great move last lap, but now DRS kind of nullifies that, and he finds himself back down to 4th place and back behind Newgarden. Can Newgarden maybe fire up those tyres and get moving? Is he still going to be struggling a little bit and holding them up? Well, I guess we're about to find out through the single set for the technical part of the track. He seems to be doing better. He's not sliding about like he was before. And in fact, it seems to be Kev maybe struggling a little bit. He's on 9.5 old mediums, which is quite old mediums around here, but Ryan maybe makes a little bit of a mistake there, running wide through Huon. So that cost him That might actually cost him DRS, but I think he should be alright to get back in it, as long as he doesn't make any more mistakes. So coming down onto the straight, yeah, he's back in it, he's 7 tenths behind. He should be alright. The straight line speed of the Alpine is crazy. He's so much faster than everyone else in the straight, and he's not even burning the RS. But the two out front, risky. 3.5 second gap to an 89, and they have the same amount of penalties, I'm pretty sure. So at the minute, he would still lose the win to Newgarden, but that gap is only growing, especially the more that he's got battle. Can Ryan maybe get the move on one of these this lap? As Kev runs wide, that might be a warning. He's on 10 lap odd medium, the tyres are only going to go downhill from there. As Davo sets another fastest lap, it's 47.6, that is very quick. As that gap has come down quite considerably. I'm pretty sure it was like 18 seconds before, now it's 15.6, so if he can carry that on, he may well catch up to the back of the likes of Gareth before the end, as the light on the back of Newgarden is flashing, so that shows he's burnt everything and is going to be struggling a little bit straight on speed. But he is apparently doing better than he was before. He's not struggling as much. As in fact, it seems to be Kev struggling with the tyre degradation, you imagine. That gap between Risky and Newgarden is now up to 6 seconds, so Risky does have more pace than these lot, especially if they are stuck behind Newgarden. As Ryan makes another mistake. The mistake's creeping in. Maybe the pressure's getting to him. He knows he has the pace, but he just can't have the consistency that is required of him to utilise it. And that is Acorn back up to 5th, him down to 6th, and now Gareth could maybe have a shot at promoting himself up to 6th here. I don't think so. That Alpine has too much straight line speed for him to really make any moves. As Kev is dropping off the back of Newgarden, the gap is 9 tenths, so he really does need to keep that DRS, because the Alpines will punish you if you don't have it, I'd imagine. So he'll have it this lap. Those 11 lap old mediums are not going to stay with him for much longer. He's going to have to go into tyre conservation mode, as David with another fastest lap, he is gaining rapidly. He's gaining nearly about 2 seconds a lap, I'm pretty sure, so you know, these lot really don't want to be fighting. As Kev gained nearly 4 tenths down the straight, and he didn't even really have a slipstream. His Newgarden pulled all the way to the inside, so yeah, the RS really helping Kev right now. But the tyres are not, they're working against him. They will be feeling pretty bad, I'm almost certain, and if he can go to the end, I think that will be quite a good performance from him. Starting from the back, going for an ultimate strategy, getting that early safety car, which is definitely something he's done. But making the most of it at the minute. Still, he's having a better lap here, although he does make a little mistake there. That might cost him a tenth or two. If he can stay this close, he could have a shot. As in fact, Newgarden goes deep. That will cost him some time. But look how cautious he's having to be on the throttle, and Acorn is all over the back of him. Burning a little bit of DRS is the Alpine, not DRS, DRS. He's not going to have a look into Blanche one, that would be absolutely stupid. Instead, he makes Kev miss his apex. He could have a move down into the bus stop. He's trying to go all the way around the outside. He is late on the brakes for him. He's going to have the inside line for the second part of the chicane for the left-hander. There's a little bit of wheel banging. I'm sure Ryan will be licking slips, and there we go. Both Alpines getting past Kev right now. Is Gareth going to be able to get past him? No. But now these two need to try and get in that DRS. Ryan's going to look down to the inside. He's not going to make the move though. And that is 1.4 seconds to Newgarden in front. So these lot are going to have to maybe stop squabbling and focus on catching before they worry about what positions they catch in. So Acorn 1.2 behind. Brian with the DRS, he's going to go flying past. He needs to stop making these mistakes. He has the pace, he just needs to show it and keep calm. As Gareth did get past Kev as well, so we had multiple overtakes there. Now Davo only 12.5 seconds behind. That gap's come down to about 6 seconds in the last 3 laps. And Ryan 1.4 behind Newgarden. What can he do? You'd expect to see that gap come down quite quickly. He's on 4 lap pressure tyres. And he's the fastest man in clean air, apart from Davo, who is on pressure mediums. Although those mediums will be getting pretty old now. Well, not old, but past their best performance. So you can imagine he'll start struggling a little bit like Kev is. Kev on those 12 lap odds, they will be about 18 laps old coming the end of this race, and that is going to be a world of pain for the Ferrari. Let's have a look at some ERS here. So we have Newgarden on 10% and Ryan's on 27. So if he does catch, he will have more battery to use to try and make the move on the Red Bull. But whether he can catch is a different story. Is look at that, the mistakes. The mistakes are still there for Ryan. He's just struggling with consistency here. He has the pace, it's not consistency. That is going to cost him. You'd imagine. As look at the gap up front. We haven't really spoken about him since the restart, but Risky has pulled a 6-second lead over N89, and that is more than enough to get the win. I'm pretty sure at the minute. We won't check the penalties to give a little bit of mystery in the result, but he is performing very well after this restart. He just has to nurse these tyres home, as even for the hards, 18, 19 laps, whatever they will be, is quite a long time for the hards, and I think you will struggle anyway. Even the mediums, there's you actually do like Kev, who has pit again and gone back onto those mediums he started the race on. So it's Acorn who is the closest to Ryan, and then Gareth, who has kind of pulled himself together in these last 5 or so laps and seems to be getting back into the groove. He does have 75% ERS lead, so a lot more than everyone else. Maybe he's just been saving it and saving his tyres to go for a late push towards the end of the race. But we are getting towards the end now, so if he's got any pace, it is time to show it. And maybe he's about to show his hand. He just looks a lot more calm now than he did earlier on in the race, and not sliding all over the place. As Acorn misses Apex a little bit, that's going to compromise his run and maybe give Gareth a chance into the bus stop. He decides to burn. So even when he's burning though, he's stopped burning now, but the Alpine will be a tricky car to overtake. But if Acorn does lose that DRS, which he's on the verge of, it will make it a whole lot easier for Gareth. But Ryan needs to push a little bit harder now. 1.4 is the gap, so without that mistake he would probably have been within DRS. As Acorn is currently missing out on DRS. Is he? No, he's just about got it. As Ryan goes deep, it's cost him another 3/10 or so. But I guess that will be kind of a positive for his teammate, who will get the DRS and will be able to fend off Gareth because of it, you'd imagine. Although he makes a mistake in a rouge, this is giving Gareth a run. Gareth burning all the time, gets in the DRS in the slipstream, pulls to the outside, he's going to try and go around the outside. No, doesn't. He brakes a little bit early and slots back in, so clearly thinking like the long game. No penalties for these lots, so this is purely on track positions. Looks to the outside again, but nothing to be done. Need to try and stay within that DRS of Ryan, because Ryan is the pace setter of these three at the minute. As there you go, that 1 second gap is teetering. And it seems to be falling the way of Ryan if these two keep it up. Acorn going for a late apex there. I thought he was going to miss it, but he did pull it back. Misses his apex there though, no pulling that one back. Goes deep a little bit again. It's going to give Gareth another run. He's right up the back, so he's kind of going to have to lift off to the 30 air. And that's going to compromise both their runs. They can go 1.1 second gap. Here's Acorn. Acorn does have pretty decent ERS, so he can burn if necessary. Gareth has used 25% of the ERS that he had just a few laps ago, so he needs to be smart about when he burns and decides to commit to an overtake. No half-hearted overtakes, as Kev has pit but stops again, so he pits once now. Clearly going for the fastest lap is the Ferrari man. He's getting nailed on for an 8th place unless there is any drama somewhere else. Newgarden is pulling in a N89 actually, I've just noticed that. 1.2 seconds the gap between the Red Bull and the Ferrari. So as we come to the Kemmel straight again, Acorn will just about have DRS, will he? Or no, I think he will have it. No, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the DRS. So here we go. This is Gareth's opportunity. Pulling into the slipstream, burning the DRS. Going to look to the outside. David picks up another penalty, but nothing Gareth can do. The Alpine's straight line speed, if I can talk, is just enough to keep the Williams behind, stuck in P6. So Acorn doing the job for himself and his teammate in keeping Gareth behind. Davo's still gaining, but I think it's a little bit too late for him. He has pulled 10 seconds on these guys in the last 5 laps or so very good performance from him, but I imagine it'll be all in vain. As Gareth now starting to become a little bit desperate, burning in some weird places, going for some moves that aren't really on. But he is just all over the back of Acorn and trying to maybe pressure him to a mistake. Fakes to the inside, but Acorn keeps his cool. And now he's definitely without DRS. He's going to struggle to pull this one back. Will he burn? He is burning. Is the Alpine? You can see, look at that straight line speed when the Alpine burns. He's pulled 3 tenths on Ryan in front and is back in the DRS of him. As Newgarden is going to be within DRS of N89, I'm pretty sure. So we could have a battle on track for P2 in a very short minute. As both of these two have DRS again, so Acorn is just keeping himself in DRS. It's really, really close right now. But Ryan seems to have lost the pace a little bit. He's over 2 seconds behind Newgarden, so those mistakes have maybe cooked the tyres a little bit and compromised him towards the end of this race. And Newgarden is on 16 knuckle hard. He's performing really well. Davo pits for soft, but he's going to go crushed on, so he's have a little tough shootout. But here we go. I think this is the move. Ooh, somehow Acorn has DRS. He must have only just about got it. And when that Alpine has DRS, he's not getting overtaken. He pulls away on the straight. So Gareth gave up with that and stopped burning early. But now the difference in ERS has come from about 40% to 9%. It's still in Gareth's favour, but definitely not as major as it was. Let's have a look at Newgarden. You can see that N89 in front. He will get the position anyway because of penalties, but it would be nice to get a buffer between him and Ryan, you'd imagine. So he will probably still go for the overtake then, if he can. Oh no, that is really costly to Newgarden. That's going to, at the minute, that's going to drop him down to 5th place. So now Ryan and Acorn really do need to push on and keep themselves in that 3-second gap to Newgarden. Now that he's picked up that penalty, and that does relieve a little bit of pressure on N89, but I believe he does have multiple penalties, so I don't think it's going to be enough to save him from losing that 2nd place. But the lack of pace from these three could potentially get N89 a podium and also risky a race win. An unlikely race win, to be honest. It's looked like Ryan's win all day, but on these hard tyres he's just been struggling since that spin. Wow, Acorn really late on the brakes there, getting close to his teammate's rear wing. Not hitting him though, which is obviously good to see. But maybe Acorn could go for a move on Ryan. He hasn't fought him too hard so far this race, but now it's becoming a situation of he needs to get the move done to keep Gareth behind, and he has done a really good job defending so far. But is it about time that he thinks of himself and overtakes his teammate for P4 and a podium? Although he has a terrible run through Eau Rouge, this could give Gareth a massive run down the Kemmel straight. Too far back though, I think he is. Look at how close Acorn still gets to Ryan. So if he didn't make that mistake, there was definitely a move on the cards. As Kev Rusky. Oh, what's happened there? N89 might have made a mistake. He has. You can see some gravel on his tyres. So N89 has made a mistake, run wide, and now that has promoted Newgarden up to P2. So Newgarden has driven really well since safety car restart, the 2nd one, and has found himself up into a P2 on track, and now needs to focus on pulling this gap on Ryan of 3 seconds, which at the minute is about 2.6. So he has 4 tenths to find in the final lap and a half to secure himself 2nd place, which will be very good considering this strategy. These lot are going very far on hard. 17 laps, it will be 18th in the end. So these lot putting in a mega performance. Let's see what they can do though. As Gareth is still all over the back of Acorn. He's burning, he's still burning. He's now stopped. There's going to be one final chance on the last lap, as we could have maybe a 3 wide moment if these lot can get close to the back of Ryan. So let's see what's going to happen on this last lap. As it's Risky, who looks like he's going to come home to take the win. But it's this battle for 4th or 3rd. It will be. It's really taken my eye, and I'm sure all of you watching as well. So it's Acorn, half a second behind his teammate, coming up to Eau Rouge. Has to lift off to the tyres, clearly not feeling very well. Davo gets the fastest lap. Gareth gets a run on Acorn, whose light is flashing. He doesn't have much ERS, the same for Ryan. So in fact, these are catching N89, so N89 seems to be really struggling with the tyres now at the end of this race. So this could maybe, if he got get held up by N89, he could do Newgarden a favour. The man who overtook him just over a lap ago. But Gareth has just been stuck behind an Alpine, feeling a little bit like Hamilton, I bet, at Suzuka this past weekend. Behind Ocon, he's just unable to overtake because of the Alpine straight line speed. Now he's starting to really push through these corners. Oh, nearly makes contact with the back of the Alpine and gets a bit of poo on. But he manages to just about keep his front wing clean. As he pushes on now, there will be one final opportunity into the bus stop. As in fact, no, this is going to be risky round the outside. This will be an incredible move if he pulls it off. Side by side, the Alpine has a better straight line speed. They're wheel banging down the straight towards Bonchmont. Acorn just about pulls back in front, but he's got no ERS, and I bet Gareth will have none come the bus stop as well. It's going to have to be a lunge down the inside. He wants to move. He looks for it, he pulls in, and it's going to be Acorn, I think, holds on. It's going to be Risky who takes the win. Newgarden, who I think will just about lose 2nd place. He does. Ryan comes home for 2nd place. Newgarden will still get a podium though, with Acorn in 4th, Gareth in P5. N89 drops all the way down to 6th. That's so unfortunate for him. In 19 laps on a set of hards. Davo will get P7, Kev P8, and PC Gaming's AI will get 9, so he won't be classified, I don't think. But Risky has really performed in those last 10-11 laps, and he has taken the win here at Belgium. What a race from the McLaren, who really, we didn't see much of him because he just pulled away after the safety car and drove really, really well. So this will be a great performance for him. And he really takes a surprise win. He wasn't really anywhere until that 2nd safety car, and really good performance from him. So I'm sure he'll be very happy with himself. As Newgarden picks up the driver of the day for the game, but I'll give my driver of the day to Risky because that was an incredible performance from him. So yeah, very good. You can see the special McLaren livery really being done justice with that performance. He danced out onto the podium. Really happy with himself there. So yeah, what a race, and it will be Ryan who came home in P2 in the Alpine after, really, I think P2 is still good, but you feel he will still be disappointed. He did have the pace to win this race. He was the fastest man pretty much all race, but just not consistent enough to take the win here today. So it will be a P2 for him, and then Newgarden will get P3, starting from 14th, so very good from him as well. 2nd last on the grid up to a podium finish, and then Acorn in the other Alpine P4 after some great defending from the man in 5th, Gareth, our championship leader. A still good day for him. He gains points on Davo, who finished 7th, but it will be N89 who splits them two in P6, who fell off a little bit towards the end there with those 19 lap tyres. You can see there, his fastest lap was nearly 5 seconds off the fastest lap of Davo, 44.7 to N89's 49.3, so you can really see the pace difference there. And Kev Risky, who really had a bit of an unfortunate race starting on those hards. He was kind of doomed from the start. Our final classified driver in P8, PC Gaming's AI P9, so that won't count, I don't think. Mike P10, Rob 11th, George 12th, Y-Racer 13th, Tony 14th, and then Acid Master, who Tony and Acid seemed to have some decent pace, but just having that instant early on in the race, they both found themselves in the wall and out. So yeah, but a very good race towards the latter 8-9 laps of that race. So yeah, we look forward to doing it all again next week. So thank you very much for joining me. And yeah, what a race, and a very good performance there from Speed Risky. So we look forward to seeing you again next week. So thank you all for watching and have a good rest of the week. Good night.